Hey guys, it's Jaclyn and welcome back to another Face Mask with Jack. If you haven't seen the first video in this series, I will leave a link to it down in the description. Basically, we had a nice chat about finishing high school, choosing whether or not to go to university, and all that other fun stuff. So make sure you check that video out. But in this Face Mask with Jack, I wanted to talk a little bit about self-image, body positivity, and confidence. I almost forgot that one. Self-image, confidence, and body positivity, they're all very personal topics because everyone has their own relationship with themselves and their own unique ideas surrounding those words. For me, those words are very interrelated, and in this video I want to share with you guys a little bit about my experiences and my thoughts in general on body positivity, confidence, and self-image. I want to start off by saying that poor self-image or lack of self-confidence, it can affect anyone, people at any age, whether they be like a teenager like myself or an adult or a little kid or male or female or whatever you identify as. These issues can affect anyone. And also, there isn't some easy or magical way to rid yourself of these issues. There isn't some magical like 5-step tutorial to follow to gain self-confidence for life. And I mean, although that would be nice, there just isn't. And I think that's what makes this topic so challenging, is that it really has to do with your like mental state and your outlook on life. Self-image, by definition, is the idea one has of one's abilities, appearance, and personality. So following the definition, I mean, it doesn't matter how talented you might actually be or how beautiful someone might think you are. It has to do with what you think about it. A lot of the times we're a lot harder on ourselves than we would be with anyone else. And I mean, I know with myself, especially when I was in school, I put so much pressure on myself to be the best that I could be, like academically and in sports. And I mean, I'm still like that today. And a lot of it was pressure coming from myself, and like the presence of self-competition was so strong in my life, and it still is today. I constantly like want to outdo myself. Like I don't want to outdo anyone else but myself. And I don't really know where that came from. I mean, my family and my friends have always been so supportive and like proud of me with whatever I do. They never put pressure on me, but it just kind of comes from within, and it doesn't matter what they think about me or what anyone has to say. It entirely has to do with me. And it's not necessarily like a bad thing, right? I mean, I think it's really great because it's really something that makes me self-motivated because I always want to do better, right? But of course it can get too unhealthy and too extreme. And in my case, it didn't matter if what I was doing was amazing to others, it was never good enough for me. And I think that's kind of like the tricky thing about self-image. Other people can think that certain things that you're doing are amazing, which is lovely, but ultimately it comes up to you. It's your brain that determines how you feel about it. Most of the time, we're so much harder on ourselves than we would be on anyone else, and that's what can be so detrimental to anyone's self-image. And I mean, of course, there are so many other factors that affect self-image. Of course, the media is a big one. In the media, and especially online and on Instagram, a huge value is placed in physical appearance, and there's a ton of pressure to look a certain way, and it's super easy to think that you're not good enough. Comparison can be so damaging to someone's self-image because you're constantly thinking that you're not good enough, that you're not pretty enough, that you're not this, that you're not that, and you basically just end up feeling super bad about yourself. And I think it takes a while, but you really need to start training your thoughts. When you see someone that you think is beautiful, it doesn't take away from your beauty, you know? It just means that they're beautiful too. And I think that kind of ties into confidence. You know, confidence is that feeling of self-assurance, appreciating your own abilities and your own qualities, but still being able to admire others. I get asked a ton of times, often by young girls, being like, oh Jack, you seem so confident, how are you so confident? And again, it's one of those hard questions. I don't really have a definite answer. I think there's a ton of different things that go into it, but the thing with confidence, I think it's like a spectrum, and you've got confidence on one end and insecurities on the other end. And I don't think one person is really one or the other. They just kind of fall in different parts of that spectrum, you know? So I think some days I wake up and I feel really good about myself, and I feel really sure of myself and really confident in myself and what I'm doing, and I fall really close to that confident end of the spectrum. But then it's normal and common and natural for me to wake up some days and to be really insecure about myself or what I'm doing and just feel really unsure. And I think sometimes I fall over towards more like insecure end of the spectrum, and it's normal to like fluctuate, you know? So I don't really think that anyone is ever one or the other. They just have varying degrees of that, if that makes any sense. I think though, for the most part, I am pretty lucky that I do typically fall towards the more confident end of the spectrum. And yeah, I mean, I'm not exactly sure why that is. I think a big part of that has to do with two awesome peeps who raised me. Shout out to my mom and dad. They were always really great, ever since I was young, to really put a big emphasis on personality and the way I was as a person versus physical appearance. And they always accepted me for who I was, and they let me do me, I guess, which was really awesome. So I think it's super important to surround yourself with people who let you feel your best and who you're comfortable around, and you really can just be yourself. I think a big part of being confident is knowing who you are and staying true to that. I think your personality should be something that feels natural and comes very easily. I think if you're being genuine, it's way, way easier to be confident. They kind of go hand in hand. Obviously, personality has a big impact as well. I'm like a very easygoing, go with the flow kind of person, but also I do what I want and I don't really care what other people have to say or what other people think. I'm really strong in my beliefs and my values, and I think that does affect confidence because I don't really doubt myself that often. I mean, of course, there's times when I doubt myself, but for the most part, I don't really doubt myself because I'm so sure of myself. Which again, I think takes time to build up to that place, but everyone is definitely able to do that. And I think, again, that ties back into the idea of like training your thoughts. It's important to be self-aware and to recognize how your thoughts affect you. Your thoughts definitely do become your reality. If you worry all the time what people think of you, or if people think that your outfit is so last season, or if people think that you're weird, that's constantly going to be something that you're thinking about and you're worrying about, and that's totally going to affect your personality and who you are and what you put out in the world, if that makes any sense. I know it's way easier said than done, but you really got to do your best to stop worrying what other people are going to think about you. I think if that thought comes, just kind of accept it, let it pass, don't really feed into it. And I think too, as you get older, it gets a bit easier. I mean, I know that was at least true for me. I know when I was in grade 9, like a freshman in high school, I used to worry way more about what people thought about me. But now as I get a bit older, I really only care about what the important people in my life have to say about me, you know? Being confident doesn't mean that you think you're flawless or perfect. I mean, if it means that for you, then more power to you. But for me, it's just kind of being like, this is who I am. I might as well own it. I mean, I can't really change who I am, so I might as well be comfortable with it, and I might as well start accepting it. I guess if I can stress anything, it's just to not worry as much about what people are going to say about you. I think most of the time, people are so caught up in their own life and their own problems that people really don't care what you do or what you say. And I don't mean that in like an insensitive way, but I mean it that literally people are so busy and have so much stuff they have to deal with on their own. People really don't care what you do. Probably not nearly as much as you think they do. Ugh, okay, it's at that point where the face mask is starting to drip. And that basically is a sign for me to wrap it up, but I feel like I have so many other things that I want to talk about. Let me wipe my finger off. Okay. Okay, body positivity. Body positivity, that basically just means accepting your body as it is and trying to make other people feel as comfortable in their skin as you can. And again, for me, it's just kind of being like, this is my body, this is my temple, and this is just the way it is. And I'm okay with it, and I like it. And of course, it takes a while to get to that point, but it's so, so worth it. I'm sure you can see kind of how all these ideas kind of tie back together. And I think going back into the idea of like media and pressures on the media, it can be super hard to accept your body or to have a positive relationship with your body, especially when the media is really only promoting one body type. I mean, it's hard when people are gaining popularity or seem to have these amazing lives based off the fact that they have like a small waist and a big butt. And I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with having that type of body, but it becomes a problem when people believe that they'll only be accepted if they have that type of body. See the difference? I honestly and genuinely believe that all of our bodies should be celebrated and that all of our differences should be celebrated. And I feel fortunate enough to live in a generation where I feel like a variety of body types are becoming accepted. And I mean, at least a lot more accepted than they were, say like 10 years ago. And I think there's a lot of like-minded people in this generation who feel the same way or feel very similarly to me about this topic. And I think that's really important and really awesome. And I mean, I think a lot of the times the word society is thrown around, especially when talking about body image and body positivity. I mean, ultimately, we make up society. We are society. And I think that if we show that we are accepting and body positive people, I think the rest of the world and the media, I think it eventually will catch up. I think representation matters, and not only in terms of body type, but gender and race, and I feel like I could go off on a completely separate tangent on a completely separate topic, but I think that you guys get where I'm coming from. I think ultimately everyone just wants to feel accepted and to feel like they fit in and that they belong, and really I think that it's up to us to make that happen. So how are we supposed to do that? I think honestly it's simple things. It's changing your attitudes about it. Don't judge someone for the way they look or the way that they're acting, and don't make fun of people, you know? It's simple things. I think it's just honestly being a genuine and nice person. And I think it's really important that we stick together as people. I mean, I know a lot of people talk about that it's really important that females stick together, because a lot of the times it's females tearing down other females, which I think it's important, and I think that we should stick together too. But not only as females, I think we should stick together as people regardless of gender, and stick together and really support each other, and to basically be less judgmental people, you know what I'm saying? I think really the goal is to just be a nice person, and that's really what it comes down to. I think as long as you're nice and accepting and a nice person, and you make people feel good when you're around them, I mean, I think you're winning if you got that. I would much rather be remembered as that girl who made people feel happy and who made people feel vibrant and positive to be around, versus that girl who had cute hair and a cute outfit. I mean, that just kind of gives you no substance, you know? And not to say that you can't compliment people for having cute hair or a cute outfit or admire that in someone. Trust me, I'm the first to be like, girl, I love your outfit. But I just think there's way more to human interaction than just that surface stuff, you know? It honestly just matters what's on the inside. And that's why I think, it's so important to lift other people up and to stick together as humans, you know what I'm saying? Working towards a positive self-image or gaining confidence, it's gonna be hard, but everyone can do it. And I think there's so many different things that affect it, but honestly, I think that if you treat your body and your mind and your soul right, it's definitely gonna be a step in the right direction. And actually, I made a video maybe a year ago, a little while back. I talked about things that brighten my day, and I'll leave a link to that down below in case you wanna check it out. But basically, I just talked about actual tangible or physical things that you could do, or things that I do that make my day a bit better, whether it be journaling or eating healthier or getting a good quality sleep, things like that. I think that entire video kind of relates to what I'm talking about here in this video. I think ultimately if you strive to have a more happy and positive life in general, things like self-confidence and self-image are gonna grow naturally. I think they kind of go hand in hand. I really encourage you guys to leave a comment down below and share whatever you feel comfortable with, or ask whatever questions that you might have. I'll do my best to reply and to be a part of the discussion, because I really love hearing your guys' opinions and what you guys have to say about different topics like this. So I hope that you guys enjoyed today's video. Definitely let me know what topic you want me to discuss next. I think it is time for me to wash this bad boy off. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that you liked it, and I will see you guys very soon. Bye!
I gave you the key when the door wasn't open. Just admit it. See, I gave you faith, turn your doubts into hope, and can't deny it.